Alright, hello everyone. I am Lankara, and today we're going to continue drawing Ines from Arknights. So I was going through and thinking about how I was going to handle kind of the shadow tendrils there, and possibly even this arm. I am wondering if I can get away with just bending it a little bit. We have most of the pose figured out. Just little tidbits here and there that I still need to kind of work out. And instead of that kind of shape for the hand, more sticking out this way. It's like it'll be hard to see all this until I really start going in and making things look neat, but if I can see it in my head, that's the important part for this stage, I think. And fingers more going forward. It's like that's not how it looks at the moment, but something like that. Yeah, I think that's the right direction for the thumb. But overall, when I came back and looked at this again, I was actually pretty happy with how it was all coming out. And I think I can kind of move to the stage where I start refining things a little bit. I'm not going to worry too much about all the shadows in the background just yet. I want to make sure that Ines herself is proportional and that everything there is kind of moving in the right direction. That part's always a little bit difficult for me. But I think the general idea behind the pose is good. So I can kind of start going through and making sure all my proportions are correct. Overall, it's starting to look like her, so that's nice. You start with getting her eyes kind of in the right spot. And all of her facial features. Oh, it's like locking on something. Here we go. Did I overdo it? I think I did. Okay. Just trying to find the correct sizing for the eyes here, so I went in and made them a little bigger, but I think I overdid it. I will adjust it back down just a little. This is the part where I flip the canvas back and forth a lot. Try to get everything kind of the way I want it. It takes a little bit of time and effort, but it'll all be worth it in the end. I'm working a little bit on her expression here. I think even more so than the body proportions, just getting the expression down is extremely important. Just trying to get the face fairly symmetrical. There we go. I think that's pretty good. When I was looking at it this morning, I was noticing that I made her neck very, very long, so we're going to push her head down a little bit more into her body. And then I'm going to start trying to get her hair all looking correct here. Just the front hair. I'm not going to worry about the back hair yet. The front and the side hair, I guess. Try to get it, all looking about right. So most of the movement is going to be in the back hair, but I don't want the front hair and the side hair here to be completely devoid of it, so I'm trying to keep that in mind while I draw this here. I'll probably have some kind of coming out here, and it's like I do need the side hair to frame her face properly, otherwise it won't quite suit her likeness quite as well as it could. And then she has these little strands coming through her face here. Let me see. Where exactly are they? Go from the top, run through part of her eyes. Probably something like that. And then this side. Like, I don't want it to be too much in her eyes just because the eyes are extremely important with such a minimalist style here. Since with this style I don't really do any real shading. And I just rely on color differences and have each of the colors kind of get lost in each other. That's like half the point, so I gotta be careful about my placement of features. It goes a bit beyond just what's realistic and what looks like the character I'm trying to draw. And also, more into what looks good for this specific drawing. Because I don't really like it getting into her face like that. So I might just have to omit it on this side. Or have it very subtle like this. So I'll probably put that in last. Once I'm satisfied with the overall hair. I think over here is fine though. I don't mind it getting into her eyes on that side. So just taking another look here, trying to see exactly how long her hair is. Side hair is about shoulder length, so I probably want this to be a bit longer. I'm not trying to be super neat yet. You can see the hair looks pretty stringy and unappealing at the moment, but I'll fix that. We'll fix that all later. I'm more concerned about the strands around her face. So far, I think all that's looking okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and erase the back of her head here. It's not important, it's fine. It's just gonna get lost in everything else. Okay, turn the body back on. But I think that's roughly how her hair looks. And just a matter of if I want any more flowing around, because this should kind of come down like this. I might add some strands in her face. Like so. And have some kind of going out this way. I'm not overly concerned that her head looks flat without the back hair on, because the back hair is where most of that volume is going to come. Okay. And with all that, let's go ahead and put in her horns. I didn't have all that drawn at all last time because it wasn't that important yet. So, but where are they? About where her ears are. Probably just have it kind of stick out like this. I'm just going to have them entirely red for the time being. They do go up above her head. It's like in her actual art, they're kind of red at the bottom and black at the top, but for now, they're just gonna be completely red, and I'll adjust colors later as I see fit. It might end up being red the whole time, though. I might make them respect their colors. Normally I'm very particular about color matching for my fan art, but with this particular style, it's a little different. That's why her eyes are red instead of yellow like they are in her actual design. Just because I like to use as few colors as possible here, and normally that's going to be around 3. Occasionally I'll do 4 or 5, but rarely more than 5. Not sure if I've ever done one I used more than that. Okay, let's adjust the neck a little bit. Let's get that going. Something like that. Okay, now I gotta start getting her shoulders and stuff in. I'm not sure if I can get away with hiding the hair without everything just looking bizarre. Did I accidentally draw hair on the wrong layer somewhere? I did. Oh no. That is deeply unfortunate. Have to go back in and draw that later. Just because I definitely can't leave it like that. That's not gonna fly. Yeah, I accidentally drew some of the loose strands and stuff on the head itself. That's very sad. I didn't catch it soon enough to save it, so I'm gonna have to redraw parts of the head. Hopefully I can recreate what I had, because I really liked it. Rotate everything back around here. Yeah, that that actually kind of hurts losing that. Oh no. It happens sometimes. You just kind of got to deal with it. Ines is definitely not a squishy cheek character, so saturate the cheek for a moment so I can kind of know where it is, and then we'll just get that in there. Okay, that should be fine. And now I'll adjust the hair back out again. Just kind of get in there. Blow some strands in her face while she's doing all her flippy stuff. And then maybe have some kind of come out here. Something like that. This probably needs to be a bit longer. Okay. So we'll go back to doing the body now. We'll just hide the hair layer so I can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm just going to draw in that kind of vest that she's wearing. And we're just going to let it blow around a little bit since it's free in the center. I think that'll look nice. Chest is looking a little bit square there, so gonna bring it in a little bit. A bit like that. Alright, now I want something to mark the middle. It has a zipper, right? Yeah. So I can just do something like this. This way I can kind of still make sense of how she's moving. I think that'll be important for the final piece too, because as much as the style relies on things kind of getting lost and being kind of everything kind of melding together, you gotta understand it to some extent. Otherwise it won't look good, more or less. Something like that. I'm not quite sure if this is correct yet. I actually think I want the angle to be a little bit sharper on that side. And let's see. Does not have sleeves or anything, so just kinda I'm not gonna worry about the collar on the coat just yet. But I do need to understand how it moves around the shoulders, otherwise I won't be able to draw them. Kinda goes out and around like this. The arm's in the wrong spot, but that's okay. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Where does this arm go? Actually, I think this might be a little bit too low too. We'll lift it up. Make the shape nice. There we go. It started to come together. Make it a little bit tighter underneath here. Right now I'm both kind of analyzing both how I want the clothes to be and the clothes to fly off of her, and just the general shape of her body. I'm not trying to get smooth. Sometimes it happens anyway, but when it does, it's not really intentional. I think I want this to turn outward a little bit more. Just a little. There we go. Hide this for a second, so I can kind of figure out how this wraps around the side. It'll be kind of like this, I think. I can still use this white because it has a white border on the side. As far as I can tell, it doesn't go around the sleeves. Or lack thereof, I guess. Just around the bottom. Oh man, I'm looking at the collar there and I'm just like, having that many spikes, that long, that close to your neck, seems really uncomfortable. Still looking maybe a little thick. like I'm having this be a little bit loose, but maybe not quite that loose. Oh yeah, that's much better. Alright, let's put the arm in place, because otherwise it's just going to bother me as I keep looking at it. Whoop. Right in there it goes. And then just get it to bend the way I was kind of picturing. I don't think this is like a backwards elbow. It does look a little bit awkward like this, but we'll see how it all works out just a little bit. Try not to concern myself too much with it. A little bit of dirt out in the head there still. Just gotta get that out of the way. I'm not like overly concerned with the fingers right now, just trying to them to look a little bit less mutant, which a little bit more in perspective. I mean, right now they still look pretty mutant, but I can kind of picture what they're doing a little bit better. Very, very exaggerated. But that tends to help me kind of figure out what the heck is going on. There we go. Yeah, I can kind of see it now. We'll just leave it like that. Try to get some of the arm thickness the way I want it, so this way I can adjust the vest thing there around it. Still not sure if I like the arm, but that's fine. This is roughly how it's going to attach to the body regardless of how I do it, so I can adjust it as much as I need. Gonna turn the hot pink layer back on just so I can see where her belly is gonna be and not just have an empty void there confusing me. Okay. There's a ton of details and stuff on her clothes, but I'm not worried about that right now. I just want to make sure everything is roughly proportionate. So far I think I might have made this part a little bit long. So we're gonna slide this back up. A little bit more. Like it's a pretty short little coat thing. Something like that should be fine. Alright, and then the skirt should definitely be coming more up this way. Maybe a little bit too much going on over here. Like this is a very tight skirt, so need to be kind of particular about where it goes and where the legs go. I think this might actually be a little bit too long. Alright. Before I go too much further on that, I kind of want to actually attach this arm to her shoulder. That seems important. You can't do much with your arms if they're not attached to your shoulders. Something like that. And then get the shoulder going in the right direction over here. Probably a little further down this way. Yeah, there we go. We're seeing a lot of her side throughout here. So this might actually need to be a little further in. Something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and change this color to white. Okay. So legs. Let's start with this leg. It's the leg in front. So what I'm going for is I kind of want her knee up in the air. Her hip is going to be like about here. It's kind of... And let me picture this in my head. We might get here. I'm gonna move this over here for now. It's like I might end up redrawing the whole thing, so that's okay. And then the other hip is going to be kind of in the back here. And this is just going to be straight down. Probably not much bending in the knee, if any. Looks like I drew some bending, which is a bit strange, but I can just... Because her knee is going to be like in here anyway. So if I wanted to draw some like mild bend, it'd be around here. And we can do a mild bend. That'll help it not be quite as stiff. And then, or it's kind of getting absorbed into the shadows, something like that. I think that's correct. So now let's think about this bent one. It's kind of connecting here. You can kind of see this is where the center of her stomach is. So her hip is indeed like right there. And that means that it's going to do something more like this. Let's hide the skirt for a moment. No, not the belly, the skirt. So if we have... the hip about here. Yeah, I think we're just going to redraw the whole thing, so... With the hip about here. If I want the knee in the air, that means it would do something like this. This will be her thigh. And then it'll drop down. Okay. Now I can turn the skirt back on. This needs some rotation. I'll probably exaggerate this a bit more so I can keep her skirt a little bit more this way and have that big old twist in the body that I think looks nice. This is why I used the weird colors for the legs. This way I could see each leg and how I need to bend them. So kind of like this. Let's see, the hip is there. Okay. Oh, I just need to wrap the skirt around this leg here. It's super tight. I'm pretty short. What I draw should reflect that. If I need to move the legs to make the kind of pose that I'm going for a workout, I can do that. I can do what I want. But it looks like we're mostly gonna see the hip going around this first, or the skirt going around that first leg. Not much of it how it's gonna wrap around the other one. Goes out like this. Maybe folds a little bit on the leg here. Starting to get a little bit long. I'll cut that off a little. Let's group this real quick. And I want to turn this a little. It's like I do want to keep that big old twist around her stomach. Okay, I'm going to turn some layers back on. Make sure it's still the same pose with me moving her hips around so much. Yeah, I might need to adjust that leg a little bit. But otherwise, I think it's looking all right. And now it's just a proportion thing. That's much less of a pose thing and more of a proportion thing. Oh, that's nice. Just get the leg out there. Get the calf thickness right. All that good stuff. Okay. Now we're gonna go back and hide some layers, and I'm gonna go get the skirt to wrap around her body a little bit more correctly now. So I think I have it wrapping around the legs. It's really high-waisted. That's probably why it looks longer than it is in her art, because it's like, man, it's covering so little of her legs. Apologies if you heard that was me, not you. Windows trying to be helpful and saying, hey, you haven't updated your computer in a while. And I'm like, I know, and I don't care. Why you gotta nag me? Do it when it suits me. Okay. Really get that in there. Just trying to think of how this wraps on that leg there. I have a bit of a hard time with stuff like this sometimes. I have a hard time with a lot of things, I'm realizing. Art is hard. That's why I say don't worry about it. If you find you have a hard time with a lot of things, I think most people have a hard time with things. Okay, I'm gonna have to throw on some temporary folds here, just so I can picture what's going on. So it kind of comes up. Where is the center? Let me go turn on this layer again. And this will help me kind of figure out where everything is. Like I've moved some stuff around, but it seems pretty true to how everything was going. That'll be about here. And there's the hip like here. The other hip is like here. Kind of connect like that. Do something like this. Okay. So with these guides, I'm just trying to figure out how her body's looking underneath all this and like where her thighs are, how everything is flowing. And this means that this part we're going to come down like this because it's going behind and it'll connect on wrap around the other leg. And I have a pretty big lift around here. Okay, now I can't see, so I need to reduce the opacity on that a lot. It's like the guidelines are there to help you, not blind you. You gotta make them work for you. Otherwise, what's the point? There we go. Just want to make sure that the leg's presence is very clear. Especially with the skirt that emphasizes the thighs this much. Really gotta make sure I get that right. Okay, how's it looking? Okay. Getting there. Go ahead and turn this white now. Just fill everything in. Make her thighs nice and thick. There we go. Okay, so I think the only thing left is that I don't want it to hug quite that tightly. It needs to be a little bit coming off here. Otherwise it will look more like underwear than a skirt. But I do think this actually has to come like this. There we go. I've not done extensive studies on pencil skirts. So how they move is perhaps still a little bit of a mystery to me sometimes. But I think this is about right. A little bit more roundness there. Not quite sure how it should be moving around this side, because right now it feels like it might be hugging her thighs a little bit too tightly. So maybe I just need it to... There we go. Something like that. not going to be able to see how things are relative to the head until I put the back hair on, so let's actually just go ahead and do that now. Go ahead and clean this up a little, just so I can see. Now I can kind of get a feel for how big the back of her head is and how big I'm going to make that. Right now things still definitely look a bit off. I wasn't quite able to recreate the head shape that I liked that I destroyed. I'm so sad. So let's try to get some good hair shapes going on down here. Her hair's kinda gonna have a little big block like over here. We'll keep that mostly all together. Then I'll just have some nice flippy strands coming off. Might need a bigger brush. Something like that. I'll just cut into this. I know this is still stringier than I like, but it looks like hair, and I think that's fine for what I wanted to do for now. Now I can see where the back of the head is and all that. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn this back on. I think I'm gonna have to reattach it to her arm a little. And I want this layer to be above her hair, so I'm just gonna move it on up here. Like this. And I'll clean up forearm a little here. I don't mind a piece of the weapon being up in her face like that. I think that looks fine. So let's see, how do I feel about all this? I need to make the body a little bit bigger. And maybe the head a little bit smaller. Let me hide the back hair again. Yeah, I think that's about right. I will definitely sleep on proportions. But that's a good start. Still not so sure about this arm. Arms are truly my nemesis. I'm gonna turn the shadows back on and revisit that arm for a little while. Because I knew what I was going for, but it's not quite working out here. So let me think for a second. If you're doing some flippy stuff, what's gonna happen to that arm? Oh, excuse me. So, if you're doing some flippy stuff, what's that arm gonna do? Right now, I just feel like it's kind of breaking the flow, so maybe all I should do. Alright. Is. Just push it up against her side a little bit. Yeah, that could work. I'll just move it up a little. I'll try it real quick. Just because I really do not know what to do with this. No, that looks incredibly stiff. Should it go more down? I guess I can always put it in the shadows. More underneath. I guess having it kind of come out of the shadows might look cool too, then I don't have to draw the hand. That'd be pretty rad. So if I did something like this and then made it all shadowy. Yeah, clearly that's the answer to all life's problems. If you don't know what to do with it, just don't draw it. Just pretend like it's not there and it'll go away. Hooray! Looks way better than it did when it was there, so I guess we're doing it like this. I'll see how I feel about it tomorrow. For now, I think it's time to go back in and take another look at her head. I'm gonna take off the hair for a second. And I'm gonna go in on the head here and add a layer underneath. I'm gonna be like, okay, this is where the back of the head is. You know, draw the whole head and then start placing features based on that. Because there's some stuff that feels a little bit off here. At least with how I have things drawn currently. I can switch back and forth between refining the head shape here with figuring out what the back of the head is and making sure that I have the back hair placed nicely based on that. Not quite. Definitely don't want to make her face too squishy. Said that earlier, but Ines definitely has a more mature look. So I do not want to make her face very squishy. So right now, mostly I'm focusing on placing the chin relative to the eyes. I'm not really worried about the nose and mouth right now. In fact, I should probably just get rid of them so they don't distract me. Because that was a wee bit distracting, having them just be so obviously wrong there. And I'm not super worried about getting this all refined. Just need to... the shape right. So that cleanup kind of comes when everything is done. And if you start cleaning up too quickly, you'll just waste a bunch of time. Then, you know, everything's gonna move again and... and then you just have to clean it up again. Time is precious. Don't waste it. I'm gonna put the nose a little bit lower, I think. There we go. A little bit closer to the mouth. You can tell looking at her face here which parts of the eyebrows are under the hair and which parts are not. Okay, this is starting to look pretty good. In the back of her head here, so I can see it. Drop the opacity on that. Okay, so I still have the hair layer on. I'm gonna go in and fill in anything that needs to be there. Okay. Now I can probably get rid of that. Alright, it's looking a little bit better. I think I want the face to be a little bit more visible. Let's see, do I want something going across here? Like, I do feel like I want a little bit of hair just going every which way. But placing that can be a little bit tricky. I don't want too much of the face being covered. Let's see, the center of her hair. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. I think that's about correct. Then it'll glide on over here. I can do something like, maybe like this. Like I'm trying to make sure that the hair gets onto a white spot. Because everything outside of there is just going to be covered in more black. You won't be able to see it. No point in drawing excess strands if you're not even going to be able to see them, so... It's going to be a little bit on her face. Problem is I'm not sure if I like it covering her chin. That's a tough choice. Me here, trying to figure out where the hell her jaw is. I guess that looks alright. And I guess it's probably not even gonna matter because I'm just gonna turn this white. Although no, she has a coat. That'll show once I go in and draw that. feel like her head is actually a little bit small now. Maybe that's what I was seeing. Not quite that much. I am a little bit afraid of this right there, making her a little bit too thick looking. Because right there is the back of her vest, so I might need to kinda go up here a little bit. I might make it a little bit more clear what's going on. Maybe I should... Yeah, let's try adding some of the other details on her clothes. See if that helps. Okay, so where is this cape thing? She has this... longer thing coming off of her. Let me look at her sprite real quick. Apologies for the sound there, but unfortunately A-Ship is not showing her sprite to me, so I have to use YouTube. It's very unfortunate. Go ahead and mute YouTube as to avoid making too many unpleasant sounds with the nice piano music in the back. Okay. So I'll hide these layers again. Part of this is like... how long is it? About knee length, it looks like a little bit more. Oh, no, much more. Ankle length. It's just very layered. So I'll do something like this. And then the other half has to be above the skirt. Definitely gonna have to get some nicer shapes on this when the time comes. This will do for now. Just kinda let me see it. Okay. I need a quick guide. Use the screen. So... and this will help me figure out the shape of the cape thing. So what it does, it wraps around the sides of the skirt, and then it'll drape downward. I probably want it to flow outward like this. Have it really pulled in the back. This is just gonna be the front. Honestly, just drawing the front might look better than drawing the front and the back. We'll see. Just because I don't get colors to make the depth happen. Like you would with a normal with a normal image. Normal illustration. So something like this, I think. I'll have to figure out how this interacts with the arm later. I'll go ahead and draw the back too. I'm gonna use a different color though. Let me use this really loud yellow. That works. Something kind of like this, I think. And I'll have it start kind of doing that particular kind of shape over here. That's probably a bit too strong, but it's going to be something like that. Let's see, it probably connects the other side about here. So I want it to kind of do this, because you can see it kind of has this zigzag to it. And I want to keep that shape to an extent. Okay. I still want this to be red, but I'm going to put some black underneath. Like it has a shadow. I think I can get away with something like that. Very rarely do I add clothing folds, but sometimes it's necessary. Okay. And sometimes it can actually help me figure out how to define things. Go ahead and lock this for now. That's maybe a bit too much. Yeah. Well, maybe not. Kind of do want it to really flip out like this in order to really sell the flippy stuff. You gotta put it in the clothes. Clothes help make everything look so much more flippy when you do it right. Maybe something like this. No, I think I have it flipping out the wrong way. I want it to flip out this way. I think this is fine for proof of concept, though. Okay. That's probably the most important thing. And there's just... man, so much stuff. So much stuff. It'll take a little while to draw all that. Okay. And she has this big ol' curly sheathed sword. I'm not going to draw all the curves yet. Just send it on out here. It's almost as tall as she is. Or, I guess as long as her legs are. So it'll do something like this. Kind of get lost in her tummy. I think that looks pretty cool. Yeah, let me make actually the cross guard a little bit higher if I'm going to have it go under her tummy. Means I'd actually need it on top of the top, too. There we go. This definitely has way too much of a curve to it. But it's hard not to give it to it when everything else is so curved. Something like that. I'm gonna draw the belt in white for now. It has two going across here. There's the one that... I'm just gonna want to come this one at this angle, have it do something like that. This is probably fine for now. Just, man, trying to figure out some of this is gonna have to go is a little bit tricky, actually. And then with this cape, there's like some red strings coming off the side here. Going across the belt. I'm gonna ignore some of these red strings. Yeah, in her art there, it's wrapping around her hand, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. Yeah, that should be okay. Just working out where everything's connecting and... Oh, does that skirt, like, go all the way up her stomach? I'm just looking at her Elite 2 art here, and it actually might. Maybe I won't leave some of her stomach exposed. I'll think about that. Today, take a really scrutinize her art for a second. I don't have to sit here and ramble on about stuff that you guys can't see. That's why I try not to stare at the art while I'm actually drawing. I think that's probably fine for the waist. Let's start doing the top. Okay, so there's like a red thing here. I'm gonna have it be slightly affected by gravity because it looks like it would be. That actually kind of wraps around here. I do not know what to call this, so I'm just gonna leave it for now. And then her neck, I think, is just actually gonna be black. I guess I'll call this coat collar. And just use this to get this part, the red part, wrapping around her neck here. I would do something like that. And then it kind of comes off. Yeah, something like that. The details I'm not going to worry about for now, including all the strange spikes coming off there that just look very uncomfortable to me. Really, it looks slightly terrifying. And that little spot, I think that might actually be too low. Be a little bit higher, I think. There we go. Okay. Gonna turn the stuff back on. How are we looking? I'm gonna turn the other leg white, because I think it looks okay. We have stuff on our legs. Besides, yeah, just the boots, which I may or may not acknowledge. I probably will acknowledge. Okay. Let's take a look at this arm here. I'm gonna have it coming out of the shadows then. Let's do it from up there. Right. We'll have a little bit more of the legs getting lost in the shadows, I think. Do something like that. Or they're just a little bit bent. And I will go in and try to make the shapes interesting there. Shorten this a little bit. Okay, I'm not quite sure if I'm completely happy with the balance of colors yet. That's probably the next very important step here. Just because this particular style relies so heavily on exactly what colors are used where. But it looks like Ines. Which is more than what I could say this morning. Or when I started. Can recognize her through all that. Let's see, before I stop, just gonna try to get some of these other elements that I added into a better spot. I think I want this to go floof out a little bit more over here. Actually, that's a thought too. Instead of the arm coming out of the shadows, I can have it just go behind that. And still just not acknowledge it. Heck yeah. Not acknowledging your problems. Always a good time. Alright. Let's do a boot experiment. Strictly speaking, our character design has boots on her. I think they both have that shape. Oh no, they're actually both flat. Okay. So this one would be a little bit higher than the other one, just above the knee as opposed to just below it. Like the shape is not entirely accurate yet. That's okay. Yeah, I think it does look better with the boots. So I'll keep that. Alright, this is where I acknowledge the existence of something I was trying before. I can potentially put in Godai there, some red on the horns, As I see in her Elite 2 art, they were kind of twisting. Should make them more twisty. That was fine. It does more like this. Still being pretty messy. Maybe red on the hooves there. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. All of this definitely needs to stay black, and then I erased like all of the highlights I put in the other day. Those were just tests. If I put them back, it might add some white to important places, so I shall try that. Nah, I don't like it there. Okay, and then maybe just a couple of baby ones at the roots. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Am I satisfied with the color balance? I think I'm fine with her being most of the source of white. I don't think the shadows need any white whatsoever. I think I want to bend the straight leg a little bit more. I'm not sure if it makes any sense whatsoever to do this, but I don't care. If it looks cool, then that's worth doing. Especially with this style. Yeah, that's definitely better. Let's take up all that space. Okay, I think I'm mostly happy with the pose and the color balance now, so I will leave it there for today. So thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at any of your creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or anything else you can think of, please DM me on Twitter or Instagram, or just at me, and I will take a look and maybe leave some comments. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.